3, 2, 1.
Welcome, gamers,
to the World Builder Club podcast. I'm Bob World Builder.
And I'm Grace World Destroyer.
And last month, your challenge was to design a feast day fit for a king or for whoever you want. Write no more than 5 sentences detailing an original holiday for a fantasy setting. Summarize. How did this holiday earn a place on the calendar? The lore. And in what unique way is this holiday celebrated? The custom. For inspiration, what's something you think needs more recognition, like a place, event, a deed you cherish, a person you admire, a non-RPG hobby you enjoy, etc., and how could that translate to a fantasy setting? Should I read my example, or do we just get right into it?
Let's just get right into it.
Let's just freaking go.
Just go.
And the first one was from Cam Wong, who said, one we just had was Monster Feast, in which all of the monstrous denizens of Chicago roam the streets looking for new and disgusting things to eat. Edible-looking folk are advised to stay alert to prevent being gobbled up.
But if it's supposed to be the most disgusting food, then why would the edible people need to be afraid?
Well, I guess unfortunately it means those people are disgusting,
Oh,
and that's
no.
what makes them edible. Weird Guy asked, what is this game for? And Cam replied that it's called Looping the Loop.
Looping the Loop.
Yeah,
I've heard of Tales from the Loop.
Yeah, it's got to be a separate thing. About Fey refugees in central Chicago in the 1920s. The characters are storybook characters who are able to live in the Loop District. I don't know if that's like a real place or not.
Storybook characters are like literally like Red Riding Hood and Cinderella, or
I don't know.
yeah.
We're able to live in the Loop District because backwards flowing river created a pocket of unreality in which they can survive.
Good for them. But not so good for the disgusting people who get eaten during Monster Feast.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like, this is the Purge, sort of. But it's like the
Purge.
monsters just getting to, I guess, eat people instead of presumably adventurers
So
or
I
somebody who would
wonder
normally stop them.
if the players were trying to like stop people from getting eaten, or
Are they the monsters?
yeah, I don't know.
Like, okay, the game is about Fey refugees, so I guess they are sort of monsters, but maybe not like evil. Okay. Next one from Jason Goodman. Oh yeah, I remember reading this one earlier. So speaking of eating people, the Night of Soup. Literal translation to English. It sounds much cooler in fantasy language. The drought that swept the land was brutal, made worse by the truly absurd levels of inequality in the land. While the poor had lips and teeth stained green by the grass they chewed just to abate their hunger for a time, the oligarchs feasted. That is, until the desperate masses reached a breaking point. Storming their manor houses, the wealthy were dragged forth into the street and boiled alive to make a stew the town shared. Many years later, now a much more egalitarian society, the town still gathers annually to slaughter and cook a pig dressed in the garb of nobility as a festive, if a bit macabre, reminder of the starving times.
That's fun.
Yeah, definitely like immediately really dark.
Me when it's time for soup.
But it's also called the Night of Soup, so how dark can it be? Literally dark,
I
Night
feel
of
like
Soup.
stew night is a little bit more like ominous.
Yeah, Night of Soup, it adds an inherently kind of silly tone to it.
Yeah.
For a not silly thing though. So, and they did say I should add this, for legal reasons I should specify that any resemblance to current real world events is purely coincidental, and I definitely in no way believe that it would be a cause for celebration were oligarchs of the real world to meet a similar fate. Hail Hydra, I guess.
Methinks he doth protest too much.
Yeah. Solution? Cannibalism? Who knows? All right.
Wasn't there a guy who wrote a whole book about that?
Yes. I can't. It
A
was bothering me.
modest
A modest proposal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the premise. I think, wasn't that kind of
It's
flipped,
about-
though, where people were eating poor people?
I think it's about eating children,
Oh, okay.
but it's
Someone in the
satire.
comments
It's
will
not.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, totally satire, too. All right. From Nuggets. So there is this kingdom that has been taken over by a powerful paladin, Nathan, the evil version of a PC called Nathan, who has forcefully positioned...
Nathan and Nothan.
N-A-hyphen-T-H-A-N is the evil one. Okay, so
Wait. So it's
Nathan, the evil version of
Nathan,
a
and the
PC
regular
called
one
Nathan.
is Nathan, but with
Yeah.
no hyphen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just regular Nathan. This evil guy has forcibly positioned himself in a seat of noble hierarchy after brutally slaughtering the previous court. Nathan demands the citizens of the kingdom spout false stories of the great paladin every 10 days to celebrate his rule, dubbed the most merciful day by the people who mourned their early leaders, using it also as a double meaning to parade that their new king seems merciful when everyone knows he is not. Still, the constituents fear what wrath may be unleashed upon them if they were to disobey and not repeat the holiday. So they are consistent and, most importantly, quiet. And they say in parentheses, kind of like a Ba Sing Se situation, if you will.
So once a week you have to compliment this guy, and that's
Yeah.
the festival.
Yeah, it's just kind of some, like, our glorious leader sort of thing, even though he's obviously bad and nobody likes him, I guess. Only a matter of time until there is a night of soup in that setting, I guess. The next one is from Weird Guy, but it's really long, and they even acknowledge that it was tough to keep under. They said 3 sentences. It was 5 for this, but this is like way over. But they also have a note for the Chaos Corner, where Grace will suggest ways to make your game more chaotic for the sake of fun. So we're going to save this prompt for that. Roxanne T says, while running Worlds Without Number, my players participated in the Flower Carnival. Every year, the townsfolk gather in the town square to drink tea made from predatory, fey-touched flower creatures. The tea sends their minds into a fey realm that was basically medieval Disneyland, while their bodies sleep in the material world. The king of this land uses the joy generated by these guests to power his realm. The people have forgotten that the festival was the result of a deal made to keep the king from kidnapping their children centuries ago.
I was going to ask, why would you do it if you knew that there was an evil king there, but that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that he won't kidnap your children.
I mean, and it's also like they just have a great time hallucinating / being
yeah.
mentally.
I guess, I mean...
So it sounds like a win-win.
It just uses the fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that maybe he's not an evil king.
I mean, it definitely just lands right in the sweet spot for Faye, I think.
True.
Where it's like, definitely something wrong about this, but like kind of nobody's being hurt exactly.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't like permanently drain your ability to have fun or something like that.
That would be
like
a good twist on
actually
this.
steals your fun.
Some comments. Love that the original purpose was lost over time. Robit says, there's always that one guy that swears the flowers don't affect him. And Slit says, whoa, reminds me a bit of the Archon that harvest the emotions, that is what they feed off of, and the negative ones are especially their favorite, as food of the people of the prison planet. I don't know if that's from... Well, a prison planet doesn't sound like D&D, so I don't know what that's from.
You mean like Dementors?
I don't know.
From Harry
the Archon.
Potter?
Someone will elaborate. Next, from Dragon Horde GM, warning, puns ahead. And I'm not going to lie, like this... Okay, no, when I read these before, I was like, not sure what some things were puns, because it starts out, during the Gilded Age, but Gilded is spelled like an artisan's guild, whereas like normally that would be like gold, right?
Are you going to have to explain every pun?
I'm just saying, I don't even know if this was a pun, because then it's never touched on again.
Okay.
That's why I was prefacing that one. So during this Gilded Age, one of the most popular holidays celebrated was Fool's Fall, or Foolish Empire Day, on the first day of autumn, fall in parentheses. The day would start with everyone from the local village, town, or city meeting at the base of a large hill early in the morning. Then anyone who wished would climb to the top of the hill and shout the same fallacy, lie, or misconception they no longer believed, having learned the truth during the last year, followed by rolling/falling down the hill and sharing brunch with everyone at the bottom. This was to celebrate the fall of the final empire, which ruled the entire planet and believed itself to be the final or never-ending world government before it collapsed, leading to the Gilded Age, an era with no government.
What would your fool's fall be this year?
Something I learned that I don't have anything off the top of my head. Do you have one?
I don't think I do either.
Okay. Yeah, somebody commented on this, said all fun and fooling until someone loses their love. And then the writer replied that, yeah, it would be very awkward, especially if you're shouting a lie told by someone present. But the purpose was to destigmatize people's natural desire to hide mistakes, encourage honesty, and having a realistic view of the world and how it works.
That's neat.
Yeah, I like the goal of that.
Yeah, that sounds like a festival that you would have in like Legends of in the Mist.
Okay.
Like just a cozy, fun little romp.
No one's getting mind controlled, sent to another dimension.
No
No
dunk
cannibal
tank.
stew. No dunk tank. What do you think of the fall puns, though? Exactly. That's what I was leading toward. Okay, we're on the same page. The next one, definitely more than 5 sentences. So I will read this later, but for the sake of our show, we will move on to Logan Kuntz, who wrote about Witchfall. Celebrated in remembrance of the conclusion of the great witch hunts after a magical cataclysm, communities in the region celebrated the perceived elimination of magic users from their lands. Celebrated by feasting and general merriment, villagers light bonfires, parade with torches, while children wear paper hunter masks, chase witches through the streets, and stage mock trials in the village square. The common people believe the witch hunts saved the kingdom. Indeed, many witch hunters were sincere heroes, yet atrocities undeniably occurred. For many villagers, the festival is a celebration of good over evil, but for hidden magic users, forced to practice their art in secret, it is a day of fear, grief, and bitterness.
So it's like a combination of the Salem witch trials, Halloween, and like Krampus events in Germany.
Yeah, actually, there's another sentence here, too. The holiday has become a mirror of the region itself, of people trying to remember a genuine victory over darkness or refusing to acknowledge the innocent lives consumed by the flames.
So there were, unlike in real life, sounds like there were actually like evil witches.
Yeah.
And so they
But
hunted and
also
killed them, but
innocent
they
people
also
died.
killed like non-magic users or like,
Or magic users who were not a threat.
yeah, like druids.
Just regular,
Yeah.
lawful ones, you might say. Or slash good ones. Yeah, I really liked this for the... Like, this also felt very folklore in general. Like, this feels like it could be a real thing. Like you said, it's basically a mishmash of a couple real-world holidays, like Halloween, etc. And I loved the idea of, like, the kids having, like, the mock trials and, like, running through the streets, sort of a cops and robbers, but it's, like,
Children
witchers and witch
holding
hunters.
mock trials.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, just probably like a phony sort of stocks thing. That's what it's called? Yeah. So that visual was fun for me. But also cool that it then has this layer of like, oh, wait, this is actually bad. Comment said, and you'd best believe this has plot hooks galore involving wronged innocent non-witches coming back as revenants for revenge. Slit said, it seems like a great holiday for a dark fantasy setting. Also could see there being that one magic user that also celebrates that day for some reason too. Oh, and okay, and OP said, I conceived it as a grimdark Guy Fawkes day. Yeah, if he was a magic user. Prosperity Day. It says this is their first time they're running a response. Used the Kingdom of Drakenshire from the new Perils and Princesses adventure as a starting point. So, Drakenshire is known for dragons as well as their two main exports, gems and livestock, two of a dragon's favorite things. The people would make scarecrows in the shape of a sheep, bedazzled in trinkets in hopes of tricking the dragon to take that instead, but it usually didn't work as the dragons were typically more clever. Even though it didn't work, the people would make their own bedazzled sheep good luck charms in hopes of dragons falling for the decoy so that their goods won't be taken and become more prosperous. that eventually grew into what is now known as Prosperity Day, a day before the busy season where everyone gathers around a giant sheep effigy stuffed with trinkets and other valuables and sets it on fire. This represents the dragon taking the bait, sparing their gems and livestock, making the people more prosperous.
So they just
I don't,
burn a bunch of
yeah, I don't
valuables?
get how it works if it's if they're actually just
But it
destroying.
sounds like it maybe takes some inspiration from the like straw goat in like Denmark or something that burns down every year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. There's lots of like burning
Yeah.
effigy things.
And I do like that. It would be cool if there was also like a sheep scarecrow decorating contest
Oh
where
yeah,
whoever
yeah,
can make the sparkliest sheep.
yeah.
That
Whoever
would
can,
be one carnival game that I could get behind.
the most reflective sheep. Pin the amulet on the donkey.
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody here said, fun. You could maybe even expand the reach and have people from all over the region travel to the town village to add their own offerings to the effigy. And after the fire is lit, they could feast, dance, and celebrate together. That also makes more sense to me that, like, Prosperity Day actually works, where they're not destroying all their things just as a dragon would or whatever. From a robot, Kyle. The, the Pack Rat Parade. We all collect too much stuff. One day, an obsessed wizard took it about himself to rid his tower of all the unnecessary trinkets, bobs, and mundane magical items in his possession by shunting all of the unwanted items to an adjacent plane of existence. The city, enamored by his immaculately kept tower, asked for his decluttering advice. Thus was born the Pack Rat Parade, a day just after the annual Winter Festival, where people march to solicit the local mages of their towns and cities to rid themselves of their unwanted stuff, singing local songs and dancing as they go. Unbeknownst to them, the plane of existence where all this stuff goes has its own yearly celebration, the Day of Perpetual Gifts.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah, this is really reminding me too of, I don't know if it was just last month, but we definitely had a previous one where there was like a creature that stacked up lost items. Or it might have been like a demigod sort of thing on our unusual gods.
Oh yeah, and I was like, that sounds like this fey creature from Hilda, which is like it just takes your knickknacks that you leave
Yeah.
lying
Well,
around.
yeah, just kind of like not necessarily wanted things and just like piled them up and organized them and said like it didn't take people and animals because it couldn't stack them.
Yeah.
I remember you, yeah. Okay. So there's some connection to our we're really building the world here, guys. Okay. Submission from Austin, regular submitter, thank you, but super long. So I'm going to read that, but not right now. Dandy says, Coldwell Day. To combat the humidity of summer, transmutation wells were made. These giant step wells, maybe steep wells, had numerous complex transmutation runes carved into the walls that cooled the well's water and the surrounding areas. These wells were an oasis in the claustrophobic hot streets of the city. The day the first transmutation well was set up is now known as Coldwell Day, appreciating these wells. The day is celebrated by bathing in water from the well and giving a copper coin to the well.
Clean
That is
the
all.
well, make the well a flower
The
crown.
cooling towers of the well of
Yeah.
the city.
So they're like air conditioners in the streets.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And make like one of these things that's kind of sensible for a magical world that you don't really think about, like controlling weather, but in a not necessarily top-down sort of way. Serenity Now says, Fallen Adventurers Day. We all remember those heroes and adventuring parties who saved the realms. We name cities after them and build statues in their honor. But what about all of those countless adventurers who wandered into dungeons never to return, who failed to best the rats in the basement? Fallen Adventurers Day is a chance to honor their memory and bravery. Citizens participate by leaving a note to a lost loved one on the village quest board, pouring an extra pint of ale and leaving an empty chair at the local tavern, or sharing tales around a campfire of their own failed adventure attempts. I like that one.
Yeah, a lot of these are very sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet little festivals.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, fitting for this Legend of the Mist setting that you've been
Yeah.
reading.
I
'Cause
like
it's-
that one a lot.
Yeah. I mean, and that just Yeah, just very sensible too. Like, why wouldn't that kind of thing exist? I mean, I guess there are settings where like, whoa, adventurers are kind of like edgy and like feared a little bit, maybe because they're kind of these like rogue people. But obviously, they do
Sometimes,
this great service too.
yeah. But sometimes they're a dumbass and they die. But that
Well,
doesn't mean we
yeah,
shouldn't
or they're a
honor their
hero and
bravery.
they do. I mean, I guess this is. Yeah, I mean, this kind of led with like, oh, we honor the heroes, but that also
Yeah.
assumed, I think, that those people survived and retired. So yeah, this is truly for the people who.
Yeah, this is the day for the first level adventurers that or level 0 that don't make it through the gauntlet.
Yeah. Okay, and so we have already reached the date cutoff for submissions. There are a few more. Should I read one of those? Should I go to one of the long ones that we had skipped? Or do we just go right to
Let's
Chaos
do
Corner?
Chaos Corner.
All right. Tiny little break.
Do 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 do.
And welcome back. So, we begin today's Chaos Corner with the one post that was really long and like the chaos question referenced that post. So that's how we're going to transition into this. But also, I should have said earlier, remember that you can have some chaos added to your game at no charge by merely leaving your request and some details about your campaign in these comments below the YouTube video.
You say no charge, but I wouldn't say no to offerings.
Sure. An effigy.
Offerings and sacrifices.
And what else was I gonna say? And of course, down at in the description, there will be a link to this month's World Builder Podcast Club post. And I don't know what the topic is yet, but I will decide that shortly after I edit this video. Okay. So this comes from Weird Guy. Shimmer Days of Silver City. One of the first major cities and capitals of my world, Silver City is built in a crescent shape around the western shore of Silver Lake. Not so original naming origin will be obvious. The lake has always played an important part in the city's ecology. A shimmer day can happen after an unseasonably cold night and lasts until sundown. The celebration begins shortly after that. The lake itself shifts to a mercurial state and drops to near freezing temperatures regardless of the season. However, neither affects wildlife or the water's properties beyond a consistency like silver liquid. Only boons come from a shimmer day. Drinkers of the water feel healthier. Wounds and ailments treated with the water on a shimmer day heal quicker. Even fish caught that day taste better. Often the central meal of an evening festival. Some smiths have even claimed items quenched in lake water on these days become silvered without the crafter's influence. The reason for this happening is unknown or a well-guarded secret by the crown, but to the denizens of Silver City, the benefits of Shimmer Days largely outweigh the cause, or knowing the cause. And he said, spontaneous holidays in my world are a favorite. This is among the first I made in the early days of world building. I like the idea of a natural or magical phenomenon causing a population to drop everything for a common celebration in the moment, like real world peoples that celebrate moon cycles or make time to watch a meteor shower, but on a fantastic scale. All right, now for the Destroyer. So first a reference to last month. Thank you for that creature eyeball being a sought-after magic item. Holy heck, I love that. Would like to hear your thoughts on how to twist a Shimmer Day into something sinister. Designer spoiler. Shimmer Day happens due to a strange residual magic from the bones of an ancient silver dragon buried in the lake bottom, reacting to the unusually cold weather of the previous night. Too much lore to dump, so I won't. Thanks.
So, like, due to the power of this water on Shimmer Days, it's only a matter of time before some nefarious creature comes to use that to their own advantage.
Okay.
Or seeks the power of the lake to, like, steal it somehow.
Oh
Or,
yeah. So remember what we said before about like changing the weather. Somebody tried to like make it permanently cold here, so it's
Yeah, or
always.
someone well-meaning who's like, what if it could be
Oh
Shimmer
yeah,
Day every day? And
yeah.
then they
We
just mess
always have this
something up
healing water. We can
really,
always make silver
really bad.
silver items and weapons.
Or like, I don't know what killed this silver dragon, if anything, but like an ancient enemy of the silver dragon comes to desecrate
The
its
grave.
resting place, and poisons the water somehow, or desecrates the remains, or steals the remains.
Yeah.
And there is no more Shimmer Day. What would people do? Or it's reverse Shimmer Day, and the water is lava
It gets
now.
even wetter
It
and
gets
less
even
thick.
wetter. I think it would be cool if there was, and this isn't really like sinister, but if you did like a Legend of Zelda Lake Temple type thing where something happens to the remains and the lake drains and there is a dragon barrow at the bottom of the lake. And your adventurers can go and investigate what happened down there, and they discover this evil dragon hating wizard or something,
Yeah.
or a lich drank all the water.
Yeah. I mean, lots of possibilities thrown out already. I'm partial to the someone trying to like permanently, have
Yeah.
more Shimmer Days.
That would be a fun twist of like someone promising I can make this permanent, but
Yeah.
they do something catastrophic.
Right. Yeah. Or there's just unforeseen consequences of doing
Yeah.
that.
Maybe it tortures the soul of the dragon for eternity.
Perhaps.
Like if it were because of the cold weather, the soul of the dragon is able to return and like bless this city and is like a spirit doing that. But
If it's there
somebody
all the time.
learns to bind it, and so it begins to go mad, and
Oh, yeah.
and things start to freeze too much, and it affects the environment in a negative way. And so they have to find a way to release the soul of the dragon, and I think the cost of that might end up being like an end to Shimmer Days altogether, because the soul of the dragon would be permanently
Yeah.
not vanquished, but released, untethered.
Lots of cool ideas. For free, even. What
For
the
free. You didn't even give me an offering.
heck? Okay. And the second and final Chaos Corner request comes from Valvoigan on YouTube, who said, "For Grace, my players are about to go explore a crystal cave hidden behind a large waterfall that is only vaguely remembered in local folklore. My campaign is pretty low magic and a bit dark in tone. As new low-level PCs, exploring a cave is pretty exotic for them. I feel like there are a few different directions that might work well with this. I'm trying to iron out. 1. A bit of lore for this cave. A former mine didn't seem a good fit for a crystal cave. 2. A simple puzzle encounter, possibly involving reflected and refracted light. And 3. A big boss for the cave. Sturges and spiders may work for random or set encounters, but I've unsuccessfully been racking my brain for a big bad that would be fun and memorable, especially for my younger players who are having their first foray into D&D. Any suggestions?"
So I'm going to skip the puzzle part because I'm not actually very good at making puzzles.
You get what you pay for.
It's free. So my first thought is the crystals are the blood or some other bodily fluid of this creature.
Of the boss.
Of the big boss.
Okay.
And any like rats or giant spiders or whatever that the characters fight also have these like crystal formations on them.
Okay.
And so the crystals in the cave are just from years and years of things or people coming into this lair and trying to fight this crystal creature, and so it has bled or dropped fluids all over the
okay.
place, and they grew over time like natural
Yeah, so
crystals
it is
do.
what grows out of the decay of things that die in this
Yeah.
crystal creature's cave. Okay.
And so the boss itself, since this is like low-level adventure, I'd say it's probably not intelligent, so it's a beast of some kind, but like an alien or non-native
Yeah.
beast. The fun part, when the PCs go to fight this creature and they're attacking it and it's squirting, it's like glowing glow stick blue blood on them, it petrifies them a little bit because it
Crystallizes
begins to
them.
crystallize on them. And the final extra fun part is when you get enough of this crystal on you, or you die, you become like a servant of the
Whoa.
creature, much like that brain-eating fungus that ants and spiders can get. It like takes over your body.
True. You kind of led with like, oh, it's a low level thing, so blah blah blah. But yeah, no, that's pretty epic. And I'm still trying to think about this puzzle though, because I had a puzzle in one of the dungeons in Delve that was just like rearranging these little mirrors to shine a light, and that is what unlocked a door. But I don't know if that makes sense for this place unless there was some kind of cult or a group, whatever, like-minded
Oh yeah, if
individuals
there's like a crystal
who,
cult.
right, who once worshipped this thing or used the crystals for something.
Well, the
Yeah,
crystals do mind control, so
true. So they are valuable.
yeah.
And then maybe they just like died out from overexposure to this thing. So there could be some kind of like zombie crystal guys in here. Maybe that are like barely recognizably humanoid still because they're just made of crystals.
Yeah, so there's a couple guys in Elden Ring that found some magical secrets basically, and so their bodies started to grow crystal. So it seems kind of like that.
Okay.
But they're like extremely powerful sorcerers. So,
So they don't have to be super powerful in this case,
yeah.
but hope that works for your campaign. Hope that makes it a little more chaotic too. Now there's like a weird strain of living crystal in your world.
Yeah, especially if your players escape with some and then it turns out it's contagious and then they start a zombie crystal outbreak or something. I don't
Yeah, well, maybe
know.
it can only survive like in darkness too, just to make it not take over the whole world too
No,
easily.
it should take over the whole world.
Yeah, I mean that is what you would say.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's where we can wrap things up for today. Remember to leave your Chaos Corner request questions down below here on YouTube. Everything else is on Patreon. Free post, link below, and keep building, I
Stop
guess.
building.